for our AMA on Tuesday at 4. Feels like it's been like a month since I was last on here. It's been an insanely crazy week, I think, for everyone. We're on Dr. Pepper rationing right now, so it's warm water for the troll lord. All right, what are we doing? So I think today, can you hear me? There's an echo. All right, what did I do wrong this time? Speaker usually goes on. Chuck, Red Dragon, anybody? Hello, hello, hello. That was me echoing. Okay. Echo, echo, echo. Is it still going on, Red Dragon? I feel as if my speaker did not go off. Alright. See, that should be turning it back on. I'm going to have to disconnect it. Well, Tim, you're in the mountains. You wouldn't know you're getting that feed 1.5 minutes after it actually happens. So the echo won't show up for a while. Oh, wait. I told you it would take a little while. Okay, is it still echoing, Red Dragon? I can't get Chuck to answer me. Is it still echoing? The speaker won't turn off. I'm not sure why. Very much. So you got double echo going on now. Trying to see if I've got something. Hey Perry, how's it going? We're trying to fix an echo issue for now. And thank you for the subscription, sir. All right, let me try. Wait, Chuck says I'm fine. Red Dragon, you still getting an echo? Alright. Okay. Uh-oh. Red Dragon, it might just be you. Okay. We will assume there is something like a TV in the back. Okay, so if you do hear some noise in the background, it's not a TV. It is my son. All of the schools have closed and everything, you know, is done. So everybody's home. And they're playing, both of my sons and nephews are online playing some naval game, ship game, where they're blowing the living crap out of each other or something. And Wilson, my youngest, tends to be an octave or two louder than perhaps he needs to be when he's online. So you're going to hear that occasionally come through the walls. I need to get a sound barrier up to stop the noise. But rest assured, there is some kind of naval battle going on the other side of the wall. And that's what's happening. Alright, so today we're going to talk about the Castle Keeper's Guide and anything else that crops up. War Thunder. Yeah. Yeah. How's it going, Epi? It is. They were hooting and hollering earlier. I had to go quiet them down when I told them I was fixing to start streaming, so that had to kind of stop. So I just wanted to throw this out there. I know that, and I'm certainly not opening up anything to writers' guidelines, to political debate. I don't have any interest in that. But we did have a piece of good news come across the wire a little while ago. It looks like the Pentagon has some 5 million ventilators and 2,000 respirators they're going to be releasing to whichever government agencies in charge of, of managing the hospitals and whatnot. Human Services, something, Human Services. I don't know. I can't keep up with all those agencies. But at any rate, so we got some good news today. That's very, very good news. As we're all looking at. We're all looking at the hospitals being flooded with patients. Hold on, I had a technical question from Todd Gray. That I have to answer. Alright, so the writer's guidelines. Perry, it is on my list, but primary on my list is getting the last of these edits into the Codex Egyptian. Peter is burning at something. He's fired up to get the layout done, and I got to get this last part of the manuscript to him. He's got all the art, everything's ready to go, so he's just waiting for me. So when that's done, then we'll tackle. We got writer's guidelines. We got to fix the front page with an FAQ and blah blah blah. It never ends, but they will. I will have them done by Christmas. That is my goal. I'm gonna do a $1 Kickstarter on the writer's guidelines. Give myself some kind of a, target that I must meet. All right, so I'm gonna close that out so I can see this Kickstarter. We'll dive into jibber jabbering about it here pretty soon. Open it up for questions. First off, thanks to everybody for showing up. We surely do appreciate it. And feel free to throw any questions that you have about any products that we're working on, or the industry in general, or Gary Con and its closing, or anything else I may be able to, spin a yarn around. Throw that in the stream, and I will do my best to answer it in a level-headed manner. You sure you don't want to put an AMA on the front page of the website? That's probably what we need to do. Only if I don't have to do it. If Tim will do it, then I'm all over it. I'm all over anything that gives Tim and Chuck more to do and me less to do. So that's always my goal around here. So I think you guys have gotten that World Anvil is hammered together. It's looking good. I know a lot of the small technical things that you guys were trying to decide on and figure out one way or the other were solved and or settled upon, and progress has been really good, so much so that I believe we're going live relatively soon. There was a question on Discord about the new content in the CKG. So is it just a general question on the content, or do you have a specific one? My primary focus for the Castle Keeper's Guide, content-wise, is going to be illustrations. I think that book has a huge amount of information in it, but a lot of it isn't that practical unless you kind of go and look up what it is. And this goes from terrain descriptions to types of ships to types of wagons to types of houses, even containers. There's all kinds of things, and I think that just need some illustrations. One of the things I absolutely love the most, and you find this on Pinterest all the time, are those. Like the other day, I wanted to know what type of battlement. Now I can't remember. It's a covered parapet, I think. It's just a wall with kind of an angled roof on it. And I got online and I was poking around just for, one of the things I do all the time is I'll type in the anatomy of a flower, the anatomy of a deer, or something like that. How's it going, Melkor? Or whatever it is. And then I get this nice illustrated picture that tells me all the parts of this thing, which helps in writing adventures and designing the game and even writing fiction and whatnot. So it occurred to me that the CKG could benefit tremendously by that. And it was just reinforced when I was doing a sea adventure a few months back, and I was trying to figure out what kind of ship they were going to take, or what they could take, or what even would be available in this area. And half of those ships on the list, I didn't even know they were. So when it hit me, really, we just need illustrations in there, just so this is a cog. This is what a cog looks like. And that way, both the CK and the player can take a quick look at that picture, and they got something to go on. They don't have to spend all the time trying to describe something that maybe you or the player doesn't quite grasp the whole, the poop deck and the fore and aft and blah, 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 whatever it is. So the first content, the additional content, will be illustrations. Those I'm going to push heaviest. We're going to limit it, I think, to 32 pages of new content. With that will be the high-level material that comes over from the Adventurer's Backpack. As you know, in the Player's Handbook, the character classes only go from 1st to 13th level. If you want from 14th, their abilities from 14th and on, you have to look in the CKG. The Adventurer's Backpack is designed the same way, except for the rune mark. So we will put an extra, it'll have an extra 7 or 8 pages alone. It'll be the classes from the Adventurer's Backpack with their high-level abilities. The next thing up is, there obviously will be a heavy editing. I'm going to contact Russ Warnham today. He is hands down probably our best editor. He's just crazy, crazy, crazy detailed. He edited the Edgar Rice Burroughs art anthology that we did last year, 2 years ago. How's it going, Douglas? And he's edited quite a few, the Codex Egyptium, which is what I'm plugging in now. So he's just a fantastic editor, and I'm going to have him take the published CKG and edit that. So there'll be a lot of edits. Now, the one section that I'm kind of iffy on is the monster ecology. I'm definitely going to pull out the encounter tables. Those encounter tables are borderline useless at this point with the little encounter book that we put out with the monsters and treasures. So those in the CKG are just, they don't have all the monsters, and it's like 2 pages. So that I'm going to pull out. The monster ecology, I want to do an entire section on that includes everything from the M&T. But I'm just not 100% certain that it belongs in the CKG, so that might actually be cut out. And if it is cut out, it'll give us a little bit of room for just some more optional rules. We're going to take some of the stuff that we did in the Player's Guide to Aird and put in there. And then we've got a couple of other just small things that we want to slip in. And these, again, are just going to be optional stuff that you can do with it wants to do with spell combat, it wants to do with combat. To tie into a Siege Engine game that Davis is working on. So it's going to have a little bit of new content, a whole bunch of illustrations, and a whole lot of cleaning up. That's the primary goal going on here. Let's see, Epi. I guess I'll toss this out there. The main reason I ask about Descending AC is because I like a lot of stuff from Frogger Games. The Adventures for SW have stats for both Ascending and Descending AC. I just figured it would be cool to have that option in CNC. You know, Epi, I think I've thought a lot about that, and we're very, very good friends with everybody over at Frog God Games. You know, Bill and I go way back, and it's nice to know. It would be nice to know that to give them some connective tissue between Castles and Crusades and Swords and Wizardry in the CKG, and really you're just talking about a chart. So I suspect during the cleanup and with the additional pages, we'll be able to put that in there. Probably go in the combat section, and then that'll, even those people that love just old AD&D like myself, I'm a huge AD&D hound, and there's your descending armor classes. So that's probably THAC0 is not. Yeah, we're not gonna do THAC0. We're just gonna do the charts. I don't know that I never got into the THAC0 thing. I know it's kind of the same thing, but it always just confused my tiny little brain. It turned a chart into math, and I didn't want that, so I quit. I quit paying any attention to THAC0. Let's see, what do we got? Yeah, no, I think so, Epi, and I really do like I like the connective tissue with Frog God Games. Whoops, I did not turn that off. Kill that. I like the connective tissue with Frog God Games. It's just good stuff. THAC0 was easy. Well, easy for you, Perry, but I'm sure if I thought about it, I could have figured it out. But I remember when I joined the Army, and I joined the Army. When did 2nd edition come out? It was in the 80s, wasn't it? I remember when I went in the Army, when I got out of the Army, 2nd edition had kind of become a thing, and I joined in 90, so I'm guessing that sometime around in there. But anyways, I never did shift from AD&D to 2nd edition. So I didn't understand the THAC0 thing. It was 89, so it was out. By the time I joined the Army, it'd been out a couple of years. 91 is when I joined the Army, so it had been out for a couple of years. But I never picked up 2nd edition, so I never did the THAC0 thing. That was always a little bit. I remember I ran into it while I was in the Army, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But really, it's not that it's not that difficult as you said. Let's see. I would love to see a monster salvaging chart. So when you salvage parts, okay, that is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic idea. No, that we'll definitely put that in there. Back. I'll put that on the whiteboard. That is a great idea. I think in there is a chart for doing the components for spells. That's in there, but you're right, it has nothing, and I've been asked, I mean, everyone at my table, when they slay something like a dragon or something, out comes that let's take it to town and sell the claws, the blood, or the eyeballs, or whatever. And there really isn't anything in the CKG that lets you do, well, not lets you, but gives you guidance. So we'll definitely put a chart in there, and we'll arrange it so it's kind of all encompassing, so that you can look at it like we do most of the things we do. So you can look at it and kind of extrapolate out what you need to do. You know, if the item from the monster that you're wanting to sell isn't in there, you'll be able to look at it and say, okay, this is similar enough to this, that. But that's a fantastic idea. So that's going to go in. Love it. All right, Stephen, did you see my note on secondary skills that I submitted via the errata portal? Secondary skills as written give you a +1 to a check, but you do not add level. Everything else pretty much adds level to a siege check unless it falls in blah, 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 blah. So it seems like secondary skills should add level and maybe a +1. That's interesting. You know, I don't use secondary skills in my game. Casey Christopherson wrote that section. I will punt that to him and see what he says, but logically by the siege engine, that it should allow you to do your level. I'd have to check on it, because at 18th level, is that going to get over? That may be why Casey cut that. At 18th level, it may overpower, because you're going to get a +19 on a great cleave, so you're doing this damage that's, you know, through the roof. But Casey and I have been talking quite a bit lately about bringing the Haunted Highlands back out in a more palatable form. So I've been jibber-jabbering with Casey quite a bit. I'll hit him up about that. I know he uses secondary. I think he plays more Sword and Wizardry now, but I don't really know what he plays. He may still play 3rd edition, but I know he created even more secondary skills for the CKG that he uses in his own game when he's running CNC. So I'll give Casey a shout and see, but that's a good point. That we need to make sure that's not something missed over, because you're right. Just about anything else that you do in CNC is you're going to get your level added to it. But you put that in the errata. You said, okay, I have not actually looked at the errata portal yet. I probably won't get into that for probably until after the Kickstarter closes would be my guess. My primary focus right now is wrapping up Codex Egyptium, which I'm hoping to get done by noon tomorrow and turned over to Peter so we can have that laid out into backers by this week is really the hope. We'll see. It's been a chaotic week for everybody in the country, really everybody in the world. So the dust seems to be settling. So we'll see how we can regroup after that. But yeah, that's great. So long as it's in the portal, I won't forget it, or in the errata portal, I won't forget it, and we'll be good to go. It's very interesting. I never really, I remember reading it years ago when we first put the CKG out, but I never went back to it. I'd be curious to what Casey, it's on page 320. You see, you were reading my mind. I was going right to it. That's funny. Oh, these are just, no, these aren't even, this isn't what I'm thinking of. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the advantages. No. So this is animal handling, appraisal, bar, alchemy. The skill provides the knowledge. Huh, that's interesting. No, that shouldn't have, because this isn't any, you know. So, no, so like a Forester skill, it's the same as a Ranger. If you have a Forester skill, a Ranger's getting better in his checks, and so would a Forester. So if you're I guess the idea here is that if you start out, if you have a second, I know what he's doing here. So if you have a secondary skill as alchemy, say, right? And then you become a wizard and you go on doing your thing, then your alchemy skill is not going to improve. Your wizardly skills are going to improve, but your alchemy skill doesn't. But you have a slightly greater advantage in mucking around and you know, with alchemy than a normal person would. So I see what he's doing here. Let's see. Yeah. So that's why part of your background, so that you might be at your level instead of taking a secondary skill. Yeah, actually, Melkor, that would be the way to do it. But you see what I'm saying? You see why he has done this? What he's done is you're not getting any better at this. So perhaps I think maybe. I don't know, perhaps some kind of a guidelines for if you continue to use these skills, because some of these, like specifically Forester and Mariner, you could actually still be using all the time and improving your skills, so you would get bonuses. But something like alchemy, unless you're actually actively doing it, it's going to be very difficult to do alchemy. So I think some kind of entry here that allows for progression. Exactly. That allows for progression so long as you are using those skills. I think that's what we're looking for here. That's a nice catch though, because on its surface, you just certainly as an old school DM from AD&D days, I'm not going to secondary skills is secondary skills, but CNC is built. Why is everybody all of a sudden? I don't know what's going on. I'm turning my phone over. Everybody's trying to get a hold of me all of a sudden. So, as you know, the secondary skill is just something that you could do a little bit. But here it's a little bit different. It could actually impact the game somewhat. And with the role-playing context, certainly that it goes into my... And for a perfect example is Todd Gray's character, Stark. He's a half-orc ranger, but he's got a secondary skill, not from this, just from his background, as you were saying, as a sailor. So... And he does it a lot, both on the ocean and on rivers and lakes and such. So I give him now. I don't give him his full level bonus. I get it's like a +7 or a 10. I don't know what it is. It's probably very random in my head as to what the type of thing is and what I can remember and what I can't remember. But that's a very, very good catch. Yeah, we'll put something in there. That's got to be a little more nuanced than it is. I think we'll definitely put that in there. Jason has joined us. Hello, Jason. That Frisian, that may actually be a good way to do it. So no one really has to track it. If you gain 5 levels, you get an extra bonus 1. If you gain another 5 or whatever it happens to be, and there's no reason to not put multiple ways to do it, because this is the CKG, right? And one of its primary modes is not to tell you how to play the game, but to give you options at your table that allow you to do a little bit of different stuff. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, I think that's very good. I love it. That's a nice catch. That's very, very nice catch, Melkor. Very nice. A great way to improve the book. And that's really what we're looking at doing in this round of the Castle Keeper's Guide. I know the second printing, we didn't see much growth in the content from the first and the second one. But this one, I want to see the content markedly improved. It's a fantastic book. I love it. I use it all the time. But I think that there are little sections that just, and the practical day-to-day application of the mechanics of playing, not the mechanics of Castles and Crusades, but the actual mechanics of playing, I think need just a little bit more guidance in there, or at least something that people can kind of latch on to and say, okay, I don't really like what the CKG is presented, but this is a good idea, so I'm going to build off of it, that type of thing. Which is, of course, the best type of gaming. You should be taking these books and running with them anyways. Well, Jason, we're glad that you're not infected with COVID. That would be good. You say that, but you're gonna have it for like a week before you know. So I know that poor old Washington State's getting hammered something ferocious. I just talked to Bill yesterday. He said it's rough. So at any rate. Yeah, good catch. And actually, Melkor brings up a good point. Tim, if you could post, there's a link for errata that you can go in. If you find something in the Castle Keeper's Guide, or you have a suggestion or some way to improve something, we have an errata page where you can go in and plop that up. And we welcome, we can't promise that we're going to make your, change what you want us to, but we'll definitely look at it. You guys have been running games and gaming for as long as me, or almost as long as me, or some probably longer than me. And it benefits everybody with a collective tossing of experience. Yeah, but that didn't quite work because blah blah blah. So definitely throw that in. What did I do? I goofed something up. So we wanted to go to Discord for the errata. Is that the idea, Tim? I don't know what we're doing. So the CKG opened up really, really well yesterday. Very, very excited with her open. She broke her first stretch reward at 14,400, which unlocked an extra month of World Anvil. So essentially what we did with this Castle Keeper's Guide is Davis had the idea that because he uses so much reference material of just having a book of charts. He has books on the shelf that he doesn't access unless he absolutely needs them, so behind his screen there's not very much. So he came up with the concept of just the charts, which is absolutely... I'm not sure what's going on. Are we being rated? Is that is that a good thing? Trolls made his rating with a party of 10. Excellent! Burn it all down! Trolls made... or Trolls Smitten. Burn it all down. Pull the troll out. That's that's fantastic. Thanks for the raid, folks. That is really cool. Very, very cool. I raid that is... No tiger erotica on the troll sites. We don't need any of that. None of that, please. That is fantastic. Okay, so that is what it's like being rated. Very cool. Very awesome. Thanks for that. What was I was babbling about something. Errata or something, I'm not sure. But oh, Davis's stuff. So we've got a book of charts. We're going to extract all of these charts from CKG and put it in this nice perfect bound book that you can put behind your screens. And you just have to access it. So if you want to roll on the type of boat or look at the type of boat, you can go look at it. And if you need the deeper and bigger and broader reference material, you pull the CKG off the shelf and you go at it. There's that, and then the master index. I think Tim's been working very hard on the GM Tricks of the Trade, getting it. I'm not sure which one of you guys have set up the database, but getting it up online and word searchable. And it kind of gave me the idea that we really need something like that for the whole lexicon of CNC material, where you can just I need to know whatever descending ACs, what book is this covered in, so you can type it in and it takes you to the book and the page, and that's definitely what the master index is going to be. I think I think the next stretch reward is actually adding the adventurer's backpack to it, and then we're going to hopefully, as this thing grows, we'll keep adding books to the master index. So the World Anvil, of course, is kind of an addendum to all of these things. It gives you access to the Codex of Eridan, the world that we build using the Codex or using the CKG. Will give you access to kind of behind the screens and let you start games in the World of Anvil. The World Anvil in the World of Eridan. That's Tim's department. I don't really know what's going on over there, but it's something I'm sure. One more note, Stephen, and I will leave out the rules minutiae. No, just fire away, Melkor, no problem. In the Player's Handbook, a lot of races have abilities that correspond to abilities that also appear in the class section. And they get small synergy bonuses for having both. For example, an elf gets a bonus +2 move silent and a bonus +2 find traps if they choose to be a ranger. Unfortunately, the Adventurer's Backpack classes and also the Player's Guide to Arid races did not include these synergies. Interesting. All right, so we will definitely make sure that goes in the errata page. We will definitely put that in the CKG so that we don't lose those classes. All of those classes in the Adventurer's Backpack are super important to the game, and the ones in the really for those people who like racial classes, those one in the Player's Guide to Arid are also. So we definitely want all of the classes to have the same treatment. So the same tools are available to anyone playing any of these classes from any one of these books. Excellent. Good deal, Melkor. Then I'll definitely look at it, like I said, probably in about a month. If that's in there, I'll start piecing through. I've got the master document set. The plan is to go through and just start putting these changes in, and actually, that's not exactly accurate. What's going to happen is this book is going to go to editing, and my hope is, and I got to get clearance from the editor on this, that he will edit it in its printed format right now, in this format, so I can go in and clean everything up, and then I'll go into the errata where we're looking at additions and rules changes and more explanations or whatever, where it's going to mess up the actual layout. That's when that material will go in. That is the plan at the moment. We will see if Rust 1, he hasn't taken the job yet, but if he's willing to edit in the book itself, then we're golden. If he is not and he wants the Word files, then I'll have to come up with plan B. But we'll know more of that in the next day or so. I think I send them via the portal under the respective books, and there's back in the Player's Guide. Okay, all right, we'll keep an eye out for him. Got it. We'll definitely keep an eye out. Tim's kind of got his hands on the claws and all of that, so he'll keep me informed. Okay, so Tim's Melkor, Tim's asking. Yeah, okay, good deal. You guys had that conversation. I don't need to. I don't need to repeat it here live on the stream. Good deal. That's the way to work all that out. Exclude me, exclude me, and I'll just show it when I need to get there. And carry on, exactly. Don't confuse me with stuff because I get so easily confused. All right. Any thoughts on releasing errata PDFs on the TLG store free? I know Jason Vade is that for A&A. Yeah, I have absolutely zero problem doing that. I think we used to have errata. Don't we have, Tim? Don't we have an errata page somewhere? I thought we did a free download page, though. I might be on crack. So there's a free download page somewhere, but I don't really know what's on it. So Tim does. All right, I gotta have Dr. Pepper, guys. I'm sorry. Frisian mentioned Dr. Pepper, made me want a Dr. Pepper. So that's called not very subliminal, whatever that word is. Dr. Pepper marketing. Sweet mother. Yeah. There you go. We're rationing it, right? We got to ration the food these days. It's crazy. I was having a bowl of Frosted Flakes yesterday, and I thought, man, should I ration my Frosted Flakes? I don't want to ration my Frosted Flakes. There's nothing good about that. So I'm just going to eat them. And then when I'm out, I'm just going to dream about eating them. So that's my rationing plan for my Frosted Flakes. And no doubt for my for my Dr. Pepper as well. So, are you going to run any virtual CNC games for Gary Converge? I'm not sure yet. So I got to get on their VTT and sign up and get all my stuff set up because I'm going to do my panels, definitely. I've run one virtual game a gazillion years ago with 𝚃𝚘𝚕𝚕 and I can't remember, it's Kyle. There's a couple of the guys in there I didn't know, but that's the only time I've actually run a virtual game, and all we did was got on Skype and play, right? And on Thursday, that's exactly what we're doing. For my Thursday night game, after GM's Tricks of the Trade, we're going to just get on Skype and play remotely. So I've never actually done any of the Fantasy Grounds or Roll20. That said, I need to, so we're looking into it. I got to talk to Chuck and Tim and see where we are on that and see what the learning curve on that is. It takes me, once I get it, I can get it, but it takes me a little while to get there. I think I'm stuck in the Amish days of barn building and whatnot. It canceled the entire, kicked you out there, Jason. You're out. Okay. Forget food, we need ration TP. You know, I was telling people for weeks, buy some toilet paper. And everyone's saying, that's ridiculous, don't do it. You gotta do it. It's not what people should do, it's what they're gonna do. And toilet paper is we don't understand it. It's a huge part of our culture, so it's what we do. Steve dressing up like little sweetheart. That would be awesome. Steve in various and sundry cosplay outfits. Probably not awesome at all. I don't think that would work as well as you would hope. So, hoard your corn cobs. Oh, Frisian's old school now. Okay, that is definitely old school toilet paper, without a doubt. Probably a little rough on the bum too. So. If I remember, and some of you history buffs are going to have to correct me. I'm going to mess this up. Someone says Skype. Oh, good Lord. That's a lot to read, Chuck. Okay, we got a special CKG Kickstarter channel in our Discord where you can discuss and offer more suggestions. Please, and we got Troll Nerd Chat. So I'm just reading his message that he wrote to me, to you guys. So, so we got Troll Nerd Chat this Friday, 7 to 8 Central Standard Time. Is that what we're doing? With giveaways, and then yeah, I'm sure that's what I am. Please follow it. Oh yeah, okay. So please follow us. I completely forgot to ask that. If you have not followed us, please follow the Troll Lord Twitch channel here, and we are doing a giveaway at 4:50. We'll do a raffle here soon, or something. I don't know what's going on. Chuck, you should just put that stuff in the feed and let people read it. I don't know what's going on. All right, so good. So follow us if you can. We much appreciate it. Troll Nerd Chat tonight. No, Friday night, 7 to 8 on our Discord, and we've got a special Discord set up for the CKG Kickstarter as well. So head over and join us there. Speaking of VRTGG, do we have a need for running more CNC? I don't know what that sentence actually means. So I know the CNC part, but what is VIR? Virtual Gary Con? No? I'm not sure. Lots of bullets. Yeah, there you go, Celestian. That's the other side to the corn cob conundrum, isn't it? I see we have a special area in Discord for, I don't even know what this means. In our VGC stuff, make sure to watch the social. We need to just lay off the acronyms. We just need to stop with the acronyms. I don't know what's going on. In my day, we didn't have any acronyms. Yeah, we probably need as many virtual games at GaryCon as we possibly can get, and I'm going to try to get myself set up and run one at least. You know, it's a shame that big, giant game I run every year, 20, 23, 25, 26 people. It's all, yeah. Thanks, Tim. Much appreciated. It's always a blast doing that game. And I just don't know if it would work virtually because everyone's, you know, jumping up and down and I'm walking all over the place and people are laughing and it's just a lot of fun. So, not sure if that'll work virtually, but we'll give it a shot. Always give it a shot. Virtual GaryCon. All right, there we go. I'm catching up, Perry. I'm catching up once you help me get there. So I really gotta bring myself back into 25 players with no pants. There, now see, now that you're talking, that's just it. I don't think anyone wants to see any of us with no pants on. So heads will roll. That's all right, Epi. That's what it's all about. Yeah. If we can figure out how to actually, I don't even know how the logistics of that would work. Can Skype do 23 little cameras on it? That would be awesome, actually. If we had 23 little cameras on Skype, that would actually be worth doing. That would be a lot of fun. So we're doing a giveaway here soon, I think. Chuck will announce it, and you'll put up whatever Chuck says, and then put yourself into the running for the giveaway. And as before, definitely give us a follow if you can. We sure appreciate it. So today we are actually, the AMA is not about corn cobs or Moondog. I don't think it started yet, but I could be wrong. Chuck hasn't started. We're not really here to talk about corn cobs and Dr. Pepper. We're always here to talk about Dr. Pepper, but more on the CKG. So if you guys have any questions about the Castle Keeper's Guide, a Kickstarter that we are running right now, if you head over to Kickstarter and type in Castles and Crusades Castle Keeper's Guide, it'll come up. We funded in a few hours, 4 or 5 hours. I had a good day today, so hit our first stretch reward, which is more World Anvil, and I don't know, see what's next. I think what's next is expanding the Master Index. For those of you who don't know what the Castle Keeper's Guide is, yeah, expanding the Master Index. The CKG is a Game Master's book. Now, it's written for Castles and Crusades, but it's not necessarily designed for the CNC game. I would say probably a third of it is specific for that, but there's whole sections of the book that are just descriptions of terrain, types of houses, fortifications, buildings, ships, sizes of towns. There's a whole, my favorite chapter actually is how to use land as treasure, and I don't think any part, that's chapter 10, I'm trying to get there, any part of that is really CNC. It's not. I'm looking at it right now. It's just, for instance, if you're wanting to do land as treasure and you're awarding let's do something, a barbarian. At first level, they're a deer stalker. At second, they're a hunter. At third, a warrior. And then they can do a calling, which allows them to have 1 to 4 followers. At fourth level, they're a sub-chief. Allows them to have 1 to 8 followers. So this type of stuff is good for any game. If you're playing 5th edition, if you're playing Sword and Wizardry, if you're playing Dungeon Crawl Classics or Rollmaster or AD&D or whatever it is, there's a good mountain of material in the Castle Keeper's Guide that you can use in your game. It was written by a whole bunch of writers, myself and Davis, Chenault, my brother, Matt Golden, Jim Ward, Jason Vay, Casey Christopherson. There's just a Mark Sandy. There's a litany of people who jumped in And we brought in all of these ideas into this one massive, rule book. And what's nice about it is it frequently gives you multiple rules. So if you look at like the critical hit, there's not a critical hit rule. There's 3 critical hit rules that you can use any one of them or all of them. It doesn't matter, and I use them all. So it gives you just a nice broad scattergun, shotgun effect at what you can bring to your table. And if you don't like it, you don't bring it. And for the quarter of it or third of it or whatever it is, I don't know how much of it is that's specific for CNC. My guess is, without having played Sword and Wizardry or 5e, that the conversion over wouldn't be terribly difficult. For instance, there's a whole section on equipment wastage that you just have to make. If a shield gets struck with a heavy blow from a giant, you just make a challenge level, a check, an attribute check, 7 crore for the shield. Easy enough to convert over to Dungeons & Dragons. It's not that hard. Might take a little bit of leg room, but not that hard. So the book, it's on Kickstarter. We're doing our 3rd printing now. This printing, we're going to illustrate the living Christmas out of it and bring in a little bit more new material, clean it up a bit, but really we're pushing for illustrations. So when you look at a Mote and Bailey, you know what a Mote and Bailey looks like. That is the goal of this 3rd printing on the Castle Keeper's Guide. You can head over and see the fantastic cover that Peter Bradley has done. That's already finished, though he wants to change. He told me yesterday he wasn't happy with something. So if you head over, you'll see the wizard has an orange and red cloak, but I think Peter wants to change that to white and something. I can't remember. I don't care. Whatever he wants to do, I'm good with. But he's an absolutely phenomenal artist, and I try not to get between him and his art. I do once in a while, and he gets quite irritated. But there you go. So that's the CKG in a nutshell. If you have any questions, please give us a shout. Kickstarter's ongoing now, day 2. Got 21 more days to hop in and see what all the ruckus is about. TROLLZAH, I thought it was just a phrase they used when another troll came in here. But it is a person. TROLLZAH is just something I say instead of huzzah. I actually saw it spread across on Facebook for like 8 posts off of a post I made, so I was very happy about that. It made a tiny little wave on the internet, which was kind of cool. But better than a big wave, I suppose. In Twitch, it's a bot we use. There you go. Yeah, when is GaryCon? Virtual GaryCon will be next week, right? It'll be at the same time, so we'll all kind of come wandering in and see what we can do. Like I said, I'm going to be doing my panels. We will try to get in there and run some games as well. So anything you guys can do for over at Virtual VTT on GaryCon, definitely check that out. Red Dragon, somebody, I'm not sure if that was you, someone mentioned that on the Kickstarter. That's an absolute go. I'm going to build that into the next level of the stretch rewards. I absolutely love the alternate cover on the player's handbook, primarily because it gives people, it's the same book, of course, but it gives people a choice, whatever they kind of, whatever style or whatever they're looking at. And we sell a little bit more of Peter Bradley's. He sells about probably about 10 or 15% more than the alternate. But I'd love to see Jason Walton's take on the Castle Keeper's Guide. It would just be cool. His art is crazy vibrant. I love it. So that is a definite go. As soon as we break through this next round, we always do with our Kickstarters. We'll do 4 stretch rewards at a time. So when we get through these 4, we'll put up the next 4, and that is a definite stretch reward. Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that because it hadn't even crossed my mind. I don't know why, but it hadn't. Definitely going to do it. Trolls Maiden GaryCon is going to be online now. They're doing a virtual GaryCon, and I know they're busy setting up all kinds of stuff. They've asked me to get in and set up an account on their VTT, and I don't know how to do any of that, but I'll figure it out here soon. So I'm sure you could head over and help out. They're looking for anyone and everyone that can dive in there. So are we doing the... what are we doing on the giveaway there, Chuck? Do they need to start... there you go, Moondog. That's always look on the silver side, right? Wait, that's not the right expression. Always look on the bright side, and there's a silver lining. I just merged the two, so always look on the silver side. There you go. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. What do we got? Looking good. No, I don't think it's going to be on Facebook, Storycraft. You go to their site, go to Gary Con, is it GaryCon.com? Surely. And I think that's where you can get into. I don't think they're doing it through Facebook. They've asked, my panels will be held here on Twitch. I got to sign. They got what we'll do on their end. Like for me, I'll sign up on their VTT thing over at GaryCon.com, and then people will come to the Twitch channel to actually see it. So my shows will be actually here on this channel. Let's see. Yeah, there you go, GaryCon.com. Yeah, that'll be cool. It'll be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to get my 27 guys going, but we will see. So, Chuck, are we doing the raffle? Or are we doing it at 450? Is that the plan? I don't know what's going on. Tim, you put a code up. I don't know what that means. Is that for me or Chuck? You guys are Skyping stuff, and I'm not sure what's going on. Alright, we'll just ask them in the Skype. At 450. Okay, so we are doing a raffle. Chuck has been horribly sick for like a week, and we've still been asking him to do things because that's the way the trolls operate. Sickness, what is the old post office, nor sleep, nor whatever the post office says. Ours is kind of the same thing with no illnesses, no sleeps, no dinners. We just keep on working. One of these days we will get caught up, but not anytime soon. You don't need special experience to run something at a con. I run stuff at cons without knowing what I am doing. That's for sure, McGee. I do the same thing. Good times, without a doubt. All right. So, if anyone has any other questions for nor rain, nor sleet, nor dark of night, there you go. Dark of night. Don't they have headlights on their trucks or something? That's not much of a challenge. Sleet, I can see. It can get dicey, you know. Icy roads and whatnot. I guess that was made long ago, though, before they had headlights on their truck, their thing. All right, so we're closing in on. I don't think has it started. I don't think it started, guys. We will start the raffle at 450. So if anyone has any other questions on the Castle Keeper's Guide or the Kickstarter or anything else we're doing, give us a shout. Chuck, yeah, I got to tell you, I think we normally do these raffles at 450, and you guys just got us all. Tim, you and Chuck got us all messed up. We don't know what's going on. You changed the time on stuff. NPC Almanac. Davis is, I haven't talked to Davis specifically about the NPC Almanac in about a week. I know that he had wrapped up another class section, and he was jabbering about something about, that was 2 weeks ago, about 200 million words in it or something, little stories or something. What was he talking about this time? He said it was knights, he was working on knights, and he was doing a female half-orc knight, and he said there's only so many stories I can come up with. To which I replied, you still got a lot to go, so don't start now. Don't give up now. So I think his plan is to turn it over in April, and I believe that's going to happen. I mean, he's been hammered. I know he's lost a bit of time. Like everybody else in the country, his kids were upended and tossed out of school, so suddenly he's got 4 kids at the home all day. So he works for Troll Games, and his primary job is writing. So his writing schedule was upset for a little bit of time there, as everybody's everywhere was. But hopefully he hasn't lost his momentum, and he can dive back into it, or has probably already dived back into it. He headed to the hills with all of his kids Thursday. I can't remember when Little Rock schools closed, but right after they closed, they took off to the mountains to visit their grandmother, who took over hooting and hollering at everybody, bringing some of that old world Amish canes to people. So the NPC Almanac is a Kickstarter we ran about 3 or 4 months ago, and it is a massive undertaking to create. I can't remember now how many scores and scores and scores, several thousand NPCs. There'll be 3 types of NPCs, some that are very basically done, hit points, hit dice, what they are, and a little bit of like a 2 words, walks with limp, that type of thing. Then there's the more involved NPCs, the standard NPC that has a paragraph of information, or 3 paragraphs of information for each one. And then there's these very elaborate NPCs that Davis will track them from the 1st level to their 10th, 13th, I can't remember, somewhere around in there. But at the end of the day, they're going to have an absolutely monstrous sum of NPCs available for game masters to just dive into. Great stuff. It's scheduled for release by Christmas next year, but we're trying to get it out by summer. If Davis turns it over in April, then we're looking at a summer release. So, yes. Well, people bought into the Kickstarter, and when it goes to backer kit, you can definitely buy into the NPC and submit your own NPCs. Absolutely, we would love it. That gives it just that much more flavor. I don't think, actually, we've called for the NPCs yet, Tim. We probably need to do that pretty soon. We were waiting until we got all of the submissions for 𝚃𝚘𝚘𝚕𝚔 in, which we have. So I think we're missing 1. So we're about due to call for those NPCs. Lots going on around here, and we kind of got sidetracked with all of this plague rolling around the planet and all of the tragedy that has come with that. Let's see. Memorial Tomb. So I'm waiting for the appendixes to get shipped to get to me. I need to get with Benoit on that. And other than that, it's the main core book is in editing. Mac he's going to turn the whole thing over to me next week. He had initially thought he'd have it done in the 2nd or the 1st week of March, but he's asking if he can have it over to me by the 26th. And his plan is to turn it over and the final layout ready version of the Codex Celtarum. While I'm wrapping up Codex Egyptium, he's wrapping up Codex Celtarum. So I'm hoping that next week Egyptium's already at layout. Those 2 books immediately go to layout. I'm really putting a target date on the 31st of this month to finish Codex Egyptium, Codex Celtarum, Memorial Tomb as much as we can, as much as Benoit has turned over, and we're just waiting for the appendixes on that main book. And there's another one in there. And the Lost City of Gaxmore. I want it laid out. That's the plan. So we walk into April with, when the sun finally gets here and burns this virus off and we can all get back to our normal lives, that we're looking at 3 new books for you guys to dive into and kill your characters with. Or, if you're a character, to dive into and frustrate your castle keeper with, which is just great. Just a real quick reminder, if you have not, please give us a follow. We surely do appreciate it. Any kind of support that you throw our way is much appreciated. And I think there's a raffle ongoing. You have to type in !raffle and you're entered automatically. And I think that's it on my... Yes. Type in !raffle. I'm learning this from the stream, so it's not that I know anything in particular or special. I'm just kind of following along with the conversation. No one's Skyping me with various shouts and commands, so I assume all is on track. Let's see. Sad that GaryCon is canceled. Go to our Discord to sign. Oh, that's a bot saying that. I don't really need to see that. I thought that was a question. Entries have stopped for the giveaway. You can no longer enter. Well, that's just rude. Perhaps soften the blow some. I don't know. Talk about upcoming shows. Thank you, Tim. Okay, so tomorrow we will be doing World Anvil. I believe Tim and Chuck will do a World Anvil at noon or 1, something like that. Yes, indeed. And then I will be back on a Thursday night at 8 o'clock. p.m. Central Standard Time for GM's Tricks of the Trade. And this week's is a little bit bloody. I talk about how to grind away hit points on high-level characters. High-level characters can be very frustrating because it's hard to hit them sometimes, and they have so many HPs. But there's a few things I've picked up over the years that kind of grind things down a little bit and bring a little bit of that fear back to high-level characters when the players are so used to annihilating whoever they fight, especially when there's 4 or 5 of them. I like the slow grind frequently, and that's what we talk about in this GM's Tricks of the Trade. So definitely swing by. I think the newsletter should go out tomorrow. So sign if you're not on the newsletter, sign up. And Chuck, if you could throw that up, that link up, or Tim, throw the link up for the newsletter. Sign up for that, and you'll get the GM's Tricks of the Trade in your inbox sometime in the morning. And Thursday night at 8, we will sit down here on the Troll stream and talk about each one of them, kind of break them all apart. It's always a lot of fun. And Epi, good deal. There's a troll nerd chat on Discord, 7 p.m. this Friday, Central Standard Time. So and definitely swing by for that. They bring donuts, absolutely. It's a fantastic place to just kind of gather and talk. And you know, it's live. It's not video, but it's definitely furball. I don't know what's going on. I need to quit for the day. I really need to quit. I've been entering in edits all day, and I think it's rattled in my brain. Too much, just too much. So World Anvil tomorrow at 1, GM's Tricks of the Trade Thursday at 8 p.m. and Troll Nerd Chat Friday at 7 p.m. Yeah, you know, TROLLZAH. We started using Troll. Troller Games was founded in 1999, and we were calling ourselves, I was Troll at Troller.com, so we were calling ourselves Trolls, I think before the internet started calling people trolls that were trolling. So it kind of, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. They took our name and made it into a bad word. Yeah, no kidding, Abby. I got one, just not drinking it fast enough. Alright, so they're pulling the winner out. And we're going to raid Ciora, a fantastic artist for VTT products and a friend of the Trolls. Excellent. So when I sign off here, Chuck will be yelling at me here in a moment to sign off, and so that you all can do the raid. So real quick, everybody, thank you for showing up. There's my notice. Thank you for showing up, and give us a follow. We surely do appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow and Thursday.